And some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our channel. So several of you guys have been asking about Ebony Williams. Is that her name? Ebony K Williams. And this whole Iyanla situation, which I guess she was on her a talk show that she does, or a show that she does on, looks like YouTube. And the clip that was sent to us was it's like a 2-minute clip about her talking about the bus driver thing. So just to get a full context, I actually like to go and find the full conversation of what they were talking about. It's like a 20-minute video of what they were actually talking about, because sometimes we take the clips, we don't know the full scope of what she was saying. So I've seen a little bit of what she said, but not all of what she said. So we're going to watch that today and see what this woman is all about. If you guys do not know who Ebony K Williams is, as I did not know at all who she was. I know who Iyanla is. It says here that she is an American lawyer and a television host. She co-hosts the late night talk show State of the Culture on Revolt TV. She co-hosted a talk show on WABC radio in New York City and was a co-host of Fox News in 2017. She has a lot of different things that she's done. She also says that she was, in October 2020, she was casted in the Real Housewives of New York City for its 13th season. So that's kind of what gives you a synopsis of who she is. So we're going to go into this. People did not like what she had to say, and we're going to see why that is.
We want to discuss masculine energy, feminine energy. I do want to start with kind of a news framing, which is that women's rights across the country, especially black women's rights, they're under attack. Lots of laws are banning abortions. They are regulating what we can and cannot do with our bodies. What do you think happens for black women when this type of siege is at play and we don't feel we have anyone to protect us?
Right. Well, the first thing I think we do is we go into anger. We go into anger without a clear ask. Doesn't make sense to be angry unless you've got to ask. What is it that you're asking for? People can say anything in the world, but that doesn't mean that they get a right to do it. It doesn't mean that they get a right to affect you. But because so many of us are programmed and conditioned and educated to think like men, we respond like men. And when I mean men, I don't mean two-legged beasts. I mean in the masculine energy, and it becomes competitive, it becomes aggressive, it becomes againstness. And that's not who we are as women. It just isn't. And I think for black women, particularly for us, the way that we've been programmed and conditioned and educated in the society to expect less, to accept less, to be angry and to complain, but to not really step into our authentic self, our authentic power as women, and create what we want, even if that's create the demand. Oh, no, not here, not today.
Okay, I hear you articulating, Iyanla, this masculine energy traits, the competitiveness, the assertiveness. Tell me how you would frame feminine traits. Aggressive. Okay.
Grace.
Aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive, not assertive. It's okay for a woman to be assertive. Grace, first of all. I think we've lost our grace. We move in such a harsh and hard way. Grace, compassion, nurturing, nourishing, elegance. How about majesty? How about divinity? How about holiness? This is not a language you hear coming out of most women's mouths. Talk about being a boss, being a diva, being, in charge. And many of us are either not seated in our throne as queens, or we're in the throne and the crown is crooked, meaning we're in the throne and we don't really know how to hold that place without the masculine aggressiveness and demanding and attachment. And it's killing us. It really is.
So in a recent interview with our dear friends over at the Breakfast Club, that went very viral for very good reason, you said that women are being trained to be men in skirts. I will acknowledge, I will say I was triggered. I was a hit dog, and I hollered to the entire production team to get you here today, because I actually think you're right. I think you're right, Iyanla. I do think that I'll just speak for myself vulnerably. When I think of a masculine posture and what I would expect a man to do in my life, two things come top of mind, and they are provide and they are protect. And when my lived experience, and I think I'm still relatively young, I guess, but I'm 40 in September. So, you know, I've had some relationships. And I've yet to find a man who has shown, I mean, this includes even my father, who was absent. I've yet to have a male energy that provided or protected me consistently ever. So I think that I have taken on the reins to protect and provide for myself. Because what I'm not going to do, Iyanla, is be without. Baby, it's not happening.
Be without what?
So that be without protection, and be without the necessities of life.
Okay.
But I say that with an invitation, Iyanla, check me. Show me the error of my ways. Tell me how I might be missing it, because I might be.
Okay. I too am an alpha woman. So I understand what that means. And I tell people all the time, I was a horrible mother. I was a great father.
What I'm annoyed with is, I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Iyanla, I like what she's saying, but I'm annoyed with her in a way because this was her generation's idea.
Yeah.
She told us, and she was this woman. And this generation of women told all of us
to be this.
Because just like that woman that's sitting next to her that wasn't raised with her father, neither was Iyanla, and neither were we.
Yeah.
And a lot of black women aren't raised with their father.
And this is how
because a lot of black women are oversexed and oversexualized. And we did our video on women voting. The reason why I said women shouldn't vote is because that was the beginning.
Yeah.
That was taking us and making us equal. And as long as we are trying to be equal, this will continue. Because we aren't the same as men. We never will be and never were. There is no such thing of a woman that actually leads.
Well, she says she's a bad mother, but a great father. Incorrect.
No, she wasn't. She was a bad mother.
That's incorrect too, Iyanla.
You provided for your kids because you were supposed to.
Yeah.
But the way that you raised them was wrong. Just say that. Don't call yourself a father to scapegoat for the fact that you were a bad mom.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, so what Iyanla is saying is right. The masculinity in women's happening, femininity is getting suppressed. They're not doing the feminine thing anymore. Women are more alpha now. Okay, independent woman. All this crap to talk. But it is kind of annoying because it is her generation that started building women up to be this way, right?
She would be considered the glorious time generation.
she really.
They were the women that said
champion for that.
Screw civil rights.
Yeah.
We need to hang out with women's liberation.
Yeah.
And so when I see women like this, I'm glad she's saying it. I'm not saying
you know what I mean?
But
let's talk about the whole thing.
But let's talk about the whole thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the truth is that women should never been allowed to vote. Because that was just a beginning of where we are today.
Yeah.
It's not that this girl is a bad woman. It's that she was raised to be this way. I have compassion for women of today. Modern women. The one that men dog all the time. I have compassion for those women. Because those women are us. Those women are the women that since grade school have been told they don't need a man. They can go to work. They've been told that in middle school. They've been told that in high school. They get told that when they go to college. They get told that when they listen to their music. They get told this when they look at a commercial. They get told that when they see Hillary Clinton talk. They get told that when they hear Oprah Winfrey talk. They get told that all the time. And then people get all weirded out when women then say, I don't need a man. Well, that's how it was supposed to be. This was the agenda.
Well, yeah, this was the grooming. The grooming of women is why she's ending up being this way. And what Ebony was saying about, she didn't have a father, so she doesn't know the example. So this is a almost a broken record textbook every woman pretty much across the map that is in this position of being masculine or single and older, right? It's kind of like textbook. You didn't have a example. You didn't have a father. You only had feminine energy. The feminine energy you had, she had to be masculine because she had to take care of you. So you were only given that. Right. You were only given that. So the conversation is about broken homes. Yeah. This is what this conversation is really about.
The show Sex and the City were all for white women. Yeah. So I'm not picking on black women. What I'm saying is this is going to happen to all women.
It's all women.
The reason why we're picked on the most is because our single mother rate is at 74%. It's the highest underneath, I think, Native Americans, which is 80.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the reason why this happens to us quicker is because we don't have fathers in our lives. And this is all these women, none of them have, her, the other woman, us. I know lots of black women that don't have fathers. You know what I mean? So once you have generations of fatherless homes, you also have black men who are okay with women working. They're okay with women leading homes. Yeah. They're okay with all that because they were raised by a single mother.
Too. What happens when you don't have the example, when you're not raised like that, you're only raised around this like dominant feminine energy, is that the one thing happens, you learn late. That's it. You learn late. And, so this is why she's talking at 40. She's talking like this, right?
What she's mad at is that she did everything they told her to do. And then they lied to her. Right. You understand? Like, that's what I'm saying. Women have been bamboozled. And it's because of this generation and the generation of the small generation of women before that was fighting for suffrage.
Yeah.
That should have never happened. Because women are not supposed to be leaders.
Now, when you become an adult, so the next thing will be when you become an adult, you can't play the blame game all the time. At some point, you have to kind of get the you have to get the hint. Okay, like you're messing up in life. It's not working, right? But here's the thing: when you're groomed to believe this is the way you're supposed to be, and everyone else is like that, and society is saying thumbs up, you're doing a good job. Go ahead, ladies, be independent. You're hearing that at home. You're hearing that on TV. You just believe it.
Now that that podcast, whatever, you know what it's called? Yeah. It's like it's like a bunch of young girls, but they're all white. Yeah. They're mostly white. They had a show the other day where one of those girls said, I like men, but I don't need one. Yeah. Because I have all this stuff. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's not her fault that she thinks that way. It's just that is what is being pressed on these girls all the time. You know what I mean? That they don't need it. And because of that, the male suicide rate, I think 1830 has gone up. Yeah. Exponentially. Yeah. Because men now don't have any reason. Right. Sleeping around is not enough for men. Right. That's just not enough. And so when you break up society like this is what you get. A whole bunch of lonely people in general.
It's true. I was a horrible mother because I'd never been mothered. So I didn't know how to affirm, how to nurture, how to nourish, how to guide. I knew how to direct, how to demand, how to discipline, and like you said, provide and protect. Those are masculine energies. And the distinction here is men build, women create. So we know how to build. We know how to get to the external and get the work done and drive and push and do it. We don't know how to be still, create it, and allow it to come to us. And I learned that when I lost everything. I learned how to create because I had already built and it all crumbled. The house, the husband, the job, the contracts, the professional career in the world, stripped of it all the attachments, the necessities of life, the creature comforts, until I was stripped down to the bare bone. And then I had to learn how not to build. Build is external. Create is internal. And we as women have the power to create and attract anything we desire. But we don't get still. We won't shut up. And we manage everything through fear, control, and survival. As opposed to feeling, knowing, and blooming or flourishing. Complete different thing. But since we've never been trained, we haven't been trained, we haven't been taught. So we do it the way we were taught to do it, which is very masculine in nature.
And very external. I feel that you are describing me to a T, Ms. Iyanla. Now, is this why you are conducting a rites of passage program so that women, all of black women in particular, can learn to create?
women, so that we can learn our authentic power, that we can learn the distinction between a powerful woman and a woman in her power. There's a distinction, but there are skills and tools and practices and processes that we have to learn. At every age, the 20s have a process, the 30s have a process, the 40s have a 50, 60. We each have a process. And if you don't learn your 20 process, you're going to be doing it at 50. If you don't complete your 30 process, you're going to be doing it at 60. And that means you'll be running on overdrive instead of seated in your power. Yes. And the secrets are there. They come from our culture. They come from our history, but no one has taught us. So me, as a descendant of Africans and Native Americans, I have a very lovely blend and mix. And I just, for a long time, I didn't do it because women in general, They don't want to hear. They think their way is right. And I'm crazy when I say sit down, shut up, and listen, and you can create what you want. They don't want to hear that.
Well, I want to hear it. So tell me when the sign up is. I don't want to miss it. Let me know when you're taking registrations because I am curious. I had a very lovely single black mother, and I'm going to get to the statistics on single black motherhood and family life. But she was, by definition, more of a father figure in terms of providing and protecting. And I think that's very common. So according to the U.S. Census, Iyanla, 23% of households in the country are single-parent households, and we know 80% of them are led by women. How does this affect the child? Both little girls, little boys, non-binary children. How does that frame their expectation of women?
This woman is like a lot of black women have gone to college and done a lot, and now they don't know how to not be that feminine. Yeah. But if we had never been able to learn to vote, or we were not able to vote, if we had not have been trying to be equal, if we would have been housewives and been nurturing our children and living in our creativity, as she said, because that is what women are supposed to do, what she's saying. Yeah. But we do that in the house. Men build. Mm-hmm. Women create. That's why it's okay for a woman to be emotional. When I say women are emotional and we make bad decisions based on emotion, that's true. But there is a place for emotion. Yeah. It's just that it's just not out in the world building. Yeah. That is a man's thing. That is a man's job. That's what men were created to do. That is their right. Yeah. That's their biological right to go out and do that. That's not what we were called to do, but that's what we were told to do. And now that we've all been told that, we've ruined generations of women because they're hurt and they're alone. Women are not built to just be by themselves. That's just not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be mothers. We're supposed to be wives. We're supposed to, like Iyanla said, create, take care of a home, make what a man brings to the table better. Yeah. Men will say in a second that every time I give my wife something, she makes it 10 times better. Because men give us things and then we take from that. But because we were on this tread of equal footing, and now we are where we are.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's why they say, this room needs a woman's touch. Right. That kind of saying happened because women make things.
We are creative.
We are a support role, and we make things better. And we multiply. So that's kind of, we help. We're helpers. So I feel like when I look at Ebony here, I know that she's getting a lot of backlash and things, but when I look at her, I do see someone who is she is a control person. She's trying to control every aspect of her life, all the way down to even her feelings. And even in this interview, you can see that she is trying to control herself. Everything Iyanla is saying, she's trying to take in, but the control part of her is not allowing that. And like I said, just her demeanor alone is showing that she's having a hard time. And I carry herself with compassion. The reason why we say compassion and not feel sorry, because I don't feel sorry for adults. Because we don't do that, right? But the compassion part comes because I know that she's struggling within herself to even be a woman. Just to be the basic part of being a woman, she's lost it.
And by the way, and that's the thing, is like she's saying, my mother was a good mother. Yeah. But my mother is not a father. No. And without my dad, I had some setbacks because I did not understand men. I didn't date for years. And when I say I didn't date, I mean I didn't hold hands with a guy because I didn't realize when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, when I got my heart broken, I didn't know it was going to hurt that bad.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you just didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so I kind of just walked away.
Yeah.
I don't want to sleep with you. I don't know how to deal with you. I don't know what you want. I don't even think you like me.
Yeah.
That is what's going on in a girl who's raised without a father.
It's very confusing.
One of the things that's going on.
Yeah.
It's confusing. And then you don't know because they tell you you're supposed to get married and have kids. And if you want, I've been wanting that. But the truth is I just didn't know. Yeah. My father wasn't the example.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
What does
marriage mean? What a family? What are you talking about? A house with a man in there and a kid? I think you have to understand. We're trying to help people understand what is going on in the heads of women who are older and single, or even not even that. Women who are even younger and independent. And that dominant, we're trying to help people understand, because most of those women, a lot of those women, pretty much majority of them do not have fathers in the home or have not seen an example of what it is. So it's like that's why I was saying in the last video that this conversation about a modern woman, it's a talking point conversation where it gains views with people. You know what I mean? Like, people like to talk about that because it, it gains views and all kinds of stuff. But what we're talking about is the deep-seated spiritual part of what the problem with modern women, domineering women, controlling women, independent women. There's a deeper conversation than just the modern woman conversation.
And it's part of cultural Marxism.
Yeah.
That is the point of Marxism, is to separate the family.
Yeah.
Because the Bible has you joined, it says, the man and woman come together, make one flesh. You are supposed to leave your parents and meet someone and then create a new generation. You're not supposed to be the same. And then we all live single until our eggs are gone.
Right.
And our men are just sleeping around with random women. Yeah. And that is the reason. That is cultural Marxism. It makes people think that freedom is doing anything you want to do.
Yeah. And it's not that. You need to have some discipline with.
And we're the land of the free, so why can't women be like men?
Yeah, do all you know, anything goes.
Anything goes. Women sleep around. You can get an abortion. No. Who cares? There's welfare. Hey, girls, you can go out and get your degree and be just like a guy. You don't need a man. And then what happens? Men then become also sex addicted. Yeah. Because they can't find a woman of substance anymore. So everything that's available to them is sexual. And then if they don't have money, they're not that high valued man. Yeah. Then they're just losers.
And then they try to look for women with money. Right. And then here we go with the lazy man happens. Right. So this is
and I don't know if she has a brother, but I bet you she had a brother and they were both raised by a single mother. He's the passive one.
Look, this is the conversation. That's why I didn't want to just take that clip. That's why I wanted to find the whole conversation. Because the clip, I guess about the bus driver thing, you gotta, in order to understand this particular woman, you have to really, are women like that. When I say, Ebony is a subject right now, but Ebony is a lot of women. She's a lot of women. So she just happens to be the subject right now, so I'm not trying to pick on her, but this, to me, is just textbook.
Mother is in charge.
It all depends on what the mother or the woman demonstrates about being a woman. If she's demonstrating that it's hard and it's rough and nobody's helping me and I got to do this and you got to do it this way, then that's what the children are going to get. If she's angry because she's alone, if she's desperate if she's not conscious, if she's not careful. I mean, when I look at the damage that I did to my children, not being clear about who I am as a feminine expression of the chief architect and creator of the universe. When I understand that I didn't know that and how to tap into that and the damage I did to my children who I love with all my heart. As soon as I discovered how off I was, I confessed it to them and asked them to watch me as I rebuilt who I was. And I'm still very alpha, but I'm in my throne and my crown is straight.
Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't want to keep interrupting this, but that's another thing. I don't like this whole crown queen thing. See, I think I know it seems like a term of endearment. This is kind of like it's not a big deal. It's just a word, crown queen, all this stuff. We black women have put ourselves on this throne, as she's saying, and giving ourselves these terms and giving ourselves these, these kind of characteristics of what it is to be a queen. And a lot of black women are not acting like this whole queen thing. We need to drop those words, because they're putting us on it's like you're putting yourself on a pedestal that you have not yet earned. You're just it because you're black. You're a black woman and you did it by yourself and you're a single mom and it's like, no, lose the terms, okay? Stop with crown. Stop with the I'm the queen. Stop all this, okay? You are a woman and that is important, all right? You're supposed to be feminine. There are attributes and characteristics and traits that go into being a woman. One of them is not being a queen. I'm sorry, it's not. We need to get back down to basics here.
We're women and men, guys. That is it. We are just women and men. That's it. I'm a woman. I'm a black woman. That is it. I am not a queen. I am a black woman, and black men are not kings. They are men. That is it. Stop trying to add, because we're all so low self-esteem that we need these like extra little things to make us feel better about ourselves.
And I know
no other race of people is doing that.
No.
You know why? Because they have families. Right. You know what I mean? When you don't have a group of broken people, they all have to start calling themselves queens. A lot of the queen and king thing has gone. To me, I just think we need to drop it all together, because I think that it's filling our heads with a bunch of BS. I think that it's inflating our egos. Ebony is the face of many women. You know what I mean? And it's easy. She's an easy target
because she's wrong.
Because she's wrong. She's really wrong. Yeah. But the problem is that it's not that she's just wrong. It was set up for her to be this way.
And that's
what I'm
saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think even on I was watching Fearless with Jason Whitlock and the pastors that he has on the show, Pastor Anthony, and they were all saying that no, men made this mistake. And so many times I hear men, want to blame women for everything. Yeah. And it's because we are feminists and women have dropped the ball of trying to be equal to men. Women are a mess. Of course, women try to do that. You know what I mean? But what he's saying is we were in charge.
What happened?
We were the ones who said, okay, vote.
Yeah.
We were the ones who said, okay, you can go to work and leave the home.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch my children. You don't have to cook for me anymore. You can go out and go chase a check.
Yeah.
You can be just like me. You can be Bill Cosby and Felicia Rashad.
Yep.
You can do that. And we allowed that. We let that happen. And then as soon as we let that happen, because I don't know whether we got intimidated by it or we thought it was going to be we thought it was going to be a break for us.
Yeah.
We dropped the ball. We should have never had given women those kind of rights.
No.
Because they aren't like us and they can't handle the kind of position. And Jason was saying the other day that women can't handle conflict, right? Yeah. And he's right. There's sometimes I do read you guys' comments, and I'm not gonna lie, it does hurt to hear men be mean.
Oh yeah,
it does hurt because I'm a woman. I don't like conflict.
Yeah.
But I have to tell the truth.
Yeah.
But I don't like to hear mean things back to me. I know a lot of people think, why are you guys still saying stuff like this? People hate you. You know what I mean? Well, it's not that I want to be hated. I would love to be loved.
Yeah, but
I would love to be loved, but I can't pretend that what I'm hearing and seeing in this world with men and women.
Yeah.
What we have here is not that she doesn't like men, and not that any of these women really don't like men, is they don't trust men no more.
Yeah.
We've been brainwashed to think that if you give men control of you, this is why women don't like when we say I don't want you to vote.
Yeah.
It's because what you're saying is they don't like the word submission. Submission just means that when you submit to a man, it just means you're letting a man love you. You're trusting him. You want him to love you in the way a man is supposed to love a woman. And you have to be a woman to receive that love, which means you have to submit. But the feminist agenda was don't trust men. Men try to take over. They think they're better than you. They try to this is how they get women to do abortion. They're trying to take control of your body.
Yeah, they do this.
Your body, your choice. They're trying to take your way, your right.
It's a mass manipulation. Honestly, I like when things like this kind of go viral because we can see what the problem is. It's such a deeper conversation than just the fact that you're single and 30 or 40 or whatever it was, or you're independent woman. The conversation is so deep that a lot of people won't even be able to understand it. That's how deep that it actually is. It's because when you are groomed to believe one way, and think about this, you're groomed to believe at a very young age. I'm talking about preteen. even that young, sometimes even younger. But let's just say preteen, right? You grow up believing this is how you're supposed to be as a woman. You go into the world and you believe that because you're growing up seeing that. You go into school and then you believe that because it's what you're seeing. Then you look on TV, you believe it's what you're seeing. Then your own family is doing that. You literally believe it. There is no excuse. You're not building an excuse. You just believe it. And so you move on in life and you realize, oh, that is a lie. And we have been massively lied to, and we have gone on with this belief. And by the time most women get the ding, 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 they're about 30 something years old. Sometimes 35, sometimes 40. Some never get it. But I know why she's the way she is. I know why she's saying the wrong things right now. I get it.
And I cringe when I hear a little bit. I cringe when I see men who actually laugh at her and do all this and she got what she deserves and all this. Because what you're doing when you do that is you're doubling down for these women.
Yes.
And then women that are younger than her, the 21-year-olds, they all go, see, this is how they treat women.
This is why
I don't want to deal with them.
So I'm going to be like her.
And the more that you guys laughing is making them think, well, you don't need you.
Yeah. We have to have a real conversation about this and stop with the insults, right? Like me saying Ebony she's controlling. This woman has a problem, right? She has a problem. You can see, she doesn't have to talk to know, right? You can see that. But I feel like laughing at a woman like this is it's counterproductive, though, is what it is. It's counterproductive, and all you're doing is setting it back. You don't have to like the woman like that. What we're saying is have an understanding of why this has happened. You know what I mean?
The day that men and women can see the compassion in each other.
Yeah, right.
See, this is the reason why when women go around saying, oh, men aren't worth anything. I don't say that.
Yeah,
you know why I don't say that? Because we made them not worth anything.
Yeah.
When we stopped trying to lean on them for help.
Right.
Now when they're not worth anything, we think we can go around and say stuff like that. I feel the exact same way when men just keep saying, you hit a wall. You know what I mean? It's just like, keep it up. Because, then your kids, your sons are going to sit around being alone. You know what I mean? Because all these people are doing is just watching our reaction. People are emotional. People are triggered very quickly. She even said it. I was triggered by what you said. Men get very triggered by women that say things like this. Instead of looking at the fact that almost all of these women have been just brainwashed from the womb, really.
Right. But you also have to think about they say a father abandonment. So when a father leaves the home or he abandons altogether their child or children, you grow up believing that you're going to get abandoned anyways. Yeah. Whoever you meet.
Men don't stay.
That's
what women see.
That's the big sign.
Stay.
Men don't stay. Blink, blink, blink.
You better have all your ducks in a row.
Let me ask you this. Let's get to the logistics, though. Let's get to the logistics. We know that black women are earning college degrees faster than anybody else. Many of us are doing like we're doing, Ayanla. We're getting those terminal degrees, those JDs, MD, PhDs. We also are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, along with Latina women in America. Pew Research said that women are now out-earning men in 22 of the largest cities in America, including where I live, New York, DC, LA, you name it. When we talk, and I know that you've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver. But we think that it's another human being's responsibility to give us what we need instead of us building together. I can build with a bus driver. I'd have my little stash over on the side in my prenup, but I could build with a bus driver. So I think some of the criteria that we look for in the reality of today keeps us unhappy, keeps us angry, keeps us imbalance. And then when the men show up, we want to beat them up because they're not living up to our standards and criteria. And it's not working, beloved.
This whole bus driver thing, this is how simplistic. She's going to say a lot of stuff, I'm sure, about, why she wouldn't date a bus driver, you got to own, and blah, blah, blah. And okay, preference is preference. If you want somebody who's make a lot of money, that's you do you, right? But this is very simple, guys. She just doesn't want to be embarrassed by dating a bus driver. Okay, that's what this is. This is a woman of status, and she's prominent in her community. Probably she's a fancy lawyer. She's been on TV. She's beautiful. You know what I mean? So in her head, she's thinking that bus drivers are beneath. She just doesn't want to look. I mean, this happens all the time. She doesn't look bad with a bus driver. I don't think that is right. I think that a man who takes care of himself and is self-efficient and is and not lacking in leadership, knows what he wants. If he loves being a bus driver, the best bus driver in the world, he wants to be that. Then that to me I have zero problems with that whatsoever. Zero problems.
Also, I think, again, feminists would tell her, well, that was the reason why we told you to be successful. You don't need a man.
You don't need a man.
You know what I'm saying?
She's living the life of
this is the problem that happens when this is why I say we're living in a very godless world right now. And when we start looking at materialism.
That's what she's doing.
And this is what happens when you think money is everything.
Right.